You see us streaming in the Facebook group now. It's 2 o'clock. It's time for Pro Power Hour. Y'all, my name's Chris Weldon. I'm one of the community managers here at Housecall Pro. And this is a weekly product training webinar we do every single Thursday at this time. Uh, if you want to register on Zoom and join us on Zoom, if you're catching this on Facebook, welcome. Highly recommend you add this to your calendar and join us every week, especially if you're a new pro or maybe you're onboarding. We've been doing this for just a little over a year now. Every week, we take a product or a feature, or maybe a couple of those, kind of give you an overview of what it is, talk a little bit about best practices and using it in HCP. Almost every week, Phil joins us and gives us a great demo and answers your questions. So if you want to go back, if there's any products or features that you're struggling with, we've covered almost all of them. You can go back to our recording library in the Help Center and watch all of our past sessions. If you actually link to the Zoom recording, it's really easy. It's got a transcript. You can find the exact pieces that you need help with. And if you have a suggestion, if there's something you want us to cover, let us know. We're starting to repeat topics, especially as products have been improved or have changed. Last week, Shayna and I took a stab at doing reviews ourselves. We were a little bit more chaotic than Phil is. Phil's really organized and knows everything best, but we still made it work. We still made it happen. And today we're going to be talking about pricing forms. If you're on Facebook, I'll watch for any questions. Otherwise, Phil, I'll turn it over to you and we can get started.
Cool, cool. Well, welcome everybody if you're new to the sessions, and welcome back if you've been with us before. As Chris mentioned, I'm one of the onboarding specialists. So if you've gone through the Max or Max Plus when you first got the account, you probably dealt with myself or one of my teammates. Otherwise, anybody else, you may have seen us on a support call or two. Definitely just kind of want to reiterate a couple of things is that that Chris mentioned is that we have been doing this for a little bit over a year. We have tons of recordings. All of my new pros that have come to me, I lead them directly to where all the recordings are. I strongly suggest if you are new to the program or just want to learn more about it, is going to that specific page in the Help Center and checking out some of our past videos. Specifically, if you are new to the program, I always lead everybody to, we do have a office staff training as well as we also have a mobile app training. And I can't tell you how much feedback I've received from some of my pros that are just starting with the program, and it's really helping them get launched and moving a lot faster in the system than they expected. So these sessions have been very valuable, and I hope if this is your first one that you do continue to come back. And for all of you that have been with us since the beginning, thanks for your support, and certainly let us know anything that we can do to that you want to hear us go over. So today we are going over the pricing forms. We have done this in the past, so if you were there for that session, some of this might be a little bit of a refresher for you. And if you're new to the program, maybe you haven't seen what pricing forms are. We're going to kind of go over. We're just the typical agenda that we normally do. We'll have our slide deck just going over some information about the pricing forms itself. Then I'll pull up my account and we'll do a little bit of a demo and just kind of show how this works in the real world. I always like to preface when I talk about pricing forms to a lot of people is that it is, in my opinion, geared a lot more towards specific industries such as cleaning, landscaping, painting, window washing. However, I still show this to every single one of my pros because maybe there is some kind of use that you can find for this. And that's kind of the goal of what we have today. So just bear that in mind as we go through the demo and go through the slide deck. Honestly, this feature may not be for you, but maybe this could be something that you could end up utilizing down the road. So enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and get into it a little bit. So just walking through our slide deck here, we'll talk about the 4 different types of options you have for the pricing forms, and we will take a look at what the pricing form is going to look like if you are utilizing online booking. And I actually got some really good stories for when we get to there, so we'll have a little bit of a story time too. So starting off with the 4 types of the pricing forms, first one is the quantity select. Now, if you haven't, we're going to see this visually, but let me just kind of paint the picture first as we kind of go through this. A pricing form, and most people who are used to Housecall Pro are used to the single line items on each particular estimate or each particular job slash invoice. Now, what the pricing form does is it kind of eliminates that and basically sets up one kind of format in this kind of form style where you can set up these different defaults for fields, which we're going to talk about right now. And that way, so when we look at the pricing form, instead of actually having to type specific items out, we're really just making clicks on quantities and selections and things like that. So this first thing here is the quantity select. And the example that is in the picture here is the one that I use on my account, which is specifically for cleaning and cleaning industries. So the most common one is, how many bedrooms do you have? So how many bedrooms are we going to clean? So within the quantity selection, we have here as our example, a bathroom, or I'm sorry, a bedroom at, what is that, $10. So it's $10 to clean a bedroom. Then when we look at the pricing form, we're really just putting in the quantity of bedrooms. 1, 2, 3, $10, $20, $3, ka-ching. Now we're getting $30. Makes it a little bit easier than actually having to type out like the whole particular service as a single line item. But again, I always tell people when we're going through the system, do what works best for you. So if you like it doing that way, don't let me change your mind, but maybe take a look at some of these pricing forms. The next option is the numerical range. What I typically see this for is mostly for painting companies as well as landscaping. However, again, you might be able to find a use for this within your industry. The example we have here is the size of the home. So that's typically more towards a painting idea. When I'm talking about landscaping, some people use it for like if you're doing lawn care, like how big is the lawn? Um, so with numerical range, that's where you can put, if we're going to use the cleaning model of the size of the house, if your house is between, or let's say an apartment, or some, I guess some houses, but if a house is between, 100 square feet and 500 square feet, it's going to be one price. Anything that is between 500 square feet and 1,000 square feet is going to be another price. Anything between 1,000 and 1,500 is going to be its own price. So that is the numerical range. So again, kind of making it easier as we go through our pricing form, we just go ahead and select our numerical range and it will generate the price for us. The next thing is the multi-select. So I had a really good analogy for this is if you've used our service agreements before and if you use add-ons, this is pretty much the exact same idea. And the thing for multi-select, yeah, this kind of used the same example that I was using in my account. I use it for kitchen options. So when, as a cleaning company, I'm going in and I'm saying, hey, I can clean your kitchen, but I can either do your fridge, I can do your freezer, I can do your oven, and I can do your microwave. Each one of them is a different price, and you can select which one of those I want. So it kind of makes it more of an a la carte style for your customer. Also, if you want to put in a list of services as in this multi-select for your pricing form, that way the customer can sort of a la carte and customize what particular services that they want to generate that customized subtotal. And then the last option here is single select. I still keep looking for more and different examples of this, but really the two big examples that I tend to use is again towards a cleaning service, which is like within single select, you can have what type of clean do you want? Regular clean, no extra charge. So they would click on the tab and say no, no, just a regular clean. And then if they want a deep clean, they can select that from the drop-down menu, and that would give them a new price. Another one I've seen is again, for cleaning companies is like pets versus no pets. Does this unit or does this house have pets? Yes, then it's going to be a certain price, similar to that deep clean. If they don't, it's going to be no extra charge because it's a regular clean. So you can create those pricing forms and they will be on your estimates as well as be on your work orders, but you can also incorporate pricing forms into online booking. What I have found is I've been working with a lot of people lately, and especially window cleaning companies that have really been taking advantage of this. What they are able to do is this one company, I'm not going to give out their name, but they go door to door and they basically pull up their online booking on their tablet. And with their pricing form, right there as they're talking with the customer, they can go ahead through their online booking, get all the information that they need through the pricing form, and then book them an appointment right there through the online booking. So that's just one of many examples of stories that I've heard from people that utilize the pricing form with their online booking. It's a really quick and easy way to go ahead and get these services. And while you're talking, when you're going door to door, you want to keep that as quick as possible, that interaction as quick as possible. So you can get that within that 5 minutes. You can get them all of their services already on the pricing form, how much that's going to cost, and you can get them schedule them an appointment. So something to think about when you're trying to secure some new business. But with the pricing forms and online booking, this is how it's going to kind of look. And so if your customer is going through online booking, this is the same thing they would be looking at. Again, we'll walk through this together. But then for the company I was talking about, this is what it looks like when they're looking at it on the tablet and they're going through to get the customers get their services in. So as you can see, the first one with that bedrooms, that's what the quantity select is going to look like. It's just simply the number, and as long as we keep pressing that plus button, that subtotal is going to keep increasing. Numerical range, as we can see, that size of the home. All you do is you hit the drop down menu and you can pick which ones you have. So ours right here is 1 to 750. Sure, if I was able to click on it, that would give us a couple more options past 750. And then for the multi-select below, that's where you can see is like we have, do you want the fridge cleaning? Do you want the oven cleaning? Customers can go ahead and select into those options. And then the over here on the right-hand side, we have the example of the single select. So that's actually a good one. Is this a first time cleaning? Yes or no? So yes or no, true or false, do they want it or do they not want it? Those kinds of questions are great for single select. So a couple of frequently asked questions about the pricing forms. I currently provide a discount on services based on the frequency of the jobs. How do I do this within the pricing forms? Um, Really, the answer here is that you would be creating pricing forms for each frequency you offer. And this is what I tell my pros too. So you'll have one, let's say, for example, like it says in here, monthly, weekly, one-time clean. Each one is its own pricing form so that way we can keep some kind of have it be the same every continuity. That's the word I'm looking for. A little continuity throughout the entire system when you're working with these pricing forms and when those cleans are going to be, or when those projects are going to be. But once you set those up, then you can adjust the pricing of the services by that way. So if a customer wants to opt into a yearly cleaning, maybe that discount on the bedrooms, instead of it being $25, maybe we'll make it $20, something like that. And then another way you can accomplish this is through discounts on the job, because the pricing form does go just directly onto the work order or job, just like our service line items do, and you can always just add a discount at the bottom. Um, Another question usually that comes up, I need to change the price of the form for a specific customer. How can you do that? Unfortunately, for the pricing forms, we don't customize them by customer for pricing. It's really kind of like one size fits all when it comes to that pricing form, similar to those service agreements. When customers sign in, we can't really tailor it to specifically what they want. At different pricing or different services and things like that. We would have to create a whole new price form specifically for that customer. So enough of the slideshow. Let's take a look at this in real time. So I've got my account open here. First thing I'm just going to walk through is just kind of the setting up of the pricing forms. And for that, that is going to be located for me. It's up here in the More button, and it's going to be under Price Book. Now, every account should have it. There really should be no need to turn it on or turn it off, but there is the pricing forms right there. And when we click on it, we can see the different pricing forms that I have created. So as we can see, I did kind of home cleaning and landscaping, but in my past life, I was a disc jockey. So I even made one for my little DJ business here. So it is pretty versatile. Don't let me change your mind. You know, every business can use this. But let's take a look at home cleaning. So for home cleaning, very similar to how you put in your items into your own price book. We got here, my name is just going to be my home cleaning service. I can get as descriptive as I want within the description of what's included in my pricing form and what's included with my services. We can have a switch here to automatically add this pricing form to all new jobs as well as to new estimates. So just like that window cleaning company I was talking about, they went ahead and turned this on. So literally it's foolproof. Pricing form is always going to come up every time, and they can just go ahead, get the numbers that they need from their customers and move on to the next house. Also, there is the switch for taxable. This shouldn't really be new to anybody, because all of our services within our price book have this switch. So if you are a business that charges taxes to your or pushes taxes to your customers, you can always have this turned on so that it is always listed as taxable. Or if you do not push taxes to your customers, we can always turn this off. Can put in a little image here. You know, I've got my team here cleaning up the house. And then underneath it, this is where the booking window is. Very similar to how we set up our services for online booking. We just go ahead and say, do we want this form to be available for people when they are booking online, or do we not? With it off, obviously that means it's not being shown. With it on, it is. And when customers go ahead and start to select items from this pricing form, we can also set up how long that's going to be, so that when the customer finishes going through the intake process, it's going to go ahead and put that appointment on our calendar, blocking out the appropriate amount of hours. Now for the fields down below, this is where you can go ahead and start setting up all those different options that we just went over with in the slide deck. So I have here for my single select, I have my cleaning options of my deep clean is $100, my regular clean, there's no extra charge. Quantity select, pretty similar to the ones we were looking at in the slide deck. We've got my bedrooms at $50 an hour, bathrooms 25. Garage is $100, and then the next one we have our multi-select. So do we want for our kitchen options, oven cleaning, microwave cleaning, fridge cleaning, freezer cleaning. I don't have an option on here for a numerical range, but let's just go ahead and put one in so we can at least see what it is. Let's say lawn care. And let's say, you know, it's 50 square feet to 100 bucks. All right, we'll keep it at just at those two. All right, so now we'll go ahead up here and we will preview and save. So anytime you create a pricing form, we'll give you a little preview of how it's going to look when it's showing up on your estimates as well as on your work orders. So very just gives you even a chance to even sample it out. So there's our example of our single select. I can either select that regular clean or the deep clean. So we'll say this is going to be a deep clean. Bedrooms, we'll go ahead and say 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Maybe they don't want me to do the garage. And then for the kitchen options, maybe just microwave and fridge. Lawn care, we'll go ahead and say 100 to 500 square feet. And as we can see down below here, there's that new subtotal taking into account everything from the pricing form. So let's take a look at how it looks on a job or an estimate. I know that was kind of like a preview, but just kind of want to show what it looks like. So this is how it looks like in the system when we go ahead and turn that on. Or I'm sorry, when we're actually using the pricing forms. So yeah, very similar to that preview we were just looking at. We can go ahead and do our drop-down menus if we need to. We can do So this one actually has two. I put in a different one. This looks like my landscaping company, but very similar to the preview that we were just looking at. So now I want to go ahead and show how this is going to look when we go through online booking. Now, I'm not going to go through all the steps of online booking because we have done sessions in the past where I do go over every single nook and cranny of online booking. But I'm just going to simply show how we can offer our pricing forms and what that's going to look like for our customer. So to go ahead and turn that on, we're going to go to our account settings. And we're going to go to online booking. Now, there is a spot for available pricing forms. Now, when I showed you when we were looking actually in the price book, I showed you there was that switch to say we either want to offer this for online booking or we don't. So in my price book, I went ahead and turned on for these two particular forms. Really from here, you can go ahead and there's the little edit pencil here that will take you to your price book to go ahead and make any changes on that particular pricing form. But that's really it when it comes to it being offered. Now, what it's going to look like for the customer is if we go to my online booking page. Now, if any of you have been through the online intake portal here, this is how it's going to look. But for the pricing forms, they're going to be here at the top. And we can see that that's different from our services down below. So if I'm going to go ahead and do our home cleaning service, I'll just select that. And the customer can go ahead and say, all right, I want the regular clean. My place is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, no garage. And for kitchen options, let's get the whole package here. And for my lawn, I've got a little lawn, so we'll do 50 to 100. Simply add to booking. They can add any additional details to help us be more prepared for this project and upload any photos if they need to. Put in their contact information. And they'll go ahead and check out. I set myself up for manual booking, so that's why we didn't see me get the option to pick a date and a time, but we'll go ahead and book the appointment. All right. I just got the notification on my phone that a job has been booked online. So there we go to our schedule, unscheduled jobs, and there is the job that was brought in from my customer online. And so now I'm ready to go ahead and book it. So that's kind of seeing the view of how it's going to look when you're building it out on your work orders and on your estimates, how it looks when you are going through the online booking online portal, and how that's going to look if a customer should fill it out online, how that's going to look when you receive it. So that's pretty much, I would say, everything about pricing forms. Let's go ahead and see some of those questions. And I don't see any here in the chat.
Now's the
Let's see
time. Yeah, if y'all have any questions, take this moment. We'll go over, I think Phil's gonna pull up some of those questions we pulled from our Facebook group. We'll go through some of those.
Yeah, I got some here. So I'll go through these first while you all start formulating your own questions. Um, what is the difference? I just had this question earlier today, and I think I answered this one already, but what's the difference between pricing forms and a service in the price book? So yeah, a service is a single line item that has a price. Like it can have a fixed price. I have some people that usually have like $0 and they might change it depending on what that project entails. But really, the pricing form is just kind of a different way of looking at it, putting everything in a concise, essentially form. And it also eliminates more of the actual typing because you're really just kind of making particular services at a particular price without much of a description. So, Yeah, I mean, there's kind of one way to put it is that a regular service is a single line item with a fixed price, while the pricing forms allow you to configure various pricing factors like size, add-ons, hourly rates to calculate that total price. Um, when should I be using services versus pricing forms? Um, Yeah, like I kind of mentioned, it's kind of what works best for you. Again, the pricing forms, at least in my experience, have been very helpful for cleaning companies, landscaping, painting. But I have shown this to people, as I mentioned before, that find other uses for it. Like some pool cleaning companies use it. Haven't seen too many HVAC people use it, but I have had HVAC companies say that they found some kind of use for it, typically if they're working with like apartment buildings and there's multiple units and things like that. Um, but really, it's one of those things where I tell everybody it's up to you on what works best for you if you want to do line item services or the pricing form. Can I add additional services or upcharges? Yep. Um, with the pricing form, that's kind of what it all kind of entails. That it allows you to go ahead and add those additional upcharges. So typically, like my example was with the single select, it's going to be an upcharge if your place is dirtier, or if you have pets, or if you want me to do a deeper clean. So it's really built for that and making it very clear and concise on additional services and upcharges and really customizing your project to your customers' needs. Next question, can I edit pricing forms on the mobile app? So at this time, the answer is no. All changes for the pricing forms must be made on the web, but you can still access pricing forms as they are, when they are built and are in your system, you can access those on the mobile app. What will my employees see on the job when using pricing forms? I kind of showed that already, but it's basically they will just see the pricing form with the name, all the options that are on that pricing form. They can go ahead and make those selections if the customer hasn't already done it. And they can also, discuss with the customer. Maybe they want to make some changes to it. They can certainly access it in the mobile app and make any changes that need to be made. All right, got another question here. Um, Can anyone from HCP tell me if pricing forms are getting any love in the near future? Um, Not entirely sure what this question means, but looks like somebody did respond with some answers. Assigned to employee dynamic service duration pricing modifiers based on frequency. So I'm assuming that's just kind of asking, is there going to be improvements made to pricing forms? Our system is always making improvements. We're always trying to find feedback and more ways of improving the system functionality. So if any of you have any suggestions, certainly feel free to reach out to our community team, or you can reach out to our support team and submit what is called a pro vote, PROVOTE. All of those suggestions get sent up to our developers and our product managers. So if you want pricing forms to get some love, we'd love to hear it from you. Next question. Is there any way to have pricing forms selectable when you are creating estimate templates? It appears the estimate template only allows single line items to be selected. Um, I don't think that's necessarily true, but let's take a look. I know that one way you can get around it is that you can certainly add it to all future jobs and estimates. So even here, when I just pulled up the estimate, my started a new estimate, my pricing form already loaded for me. So let's go ahead. We'll put in our customer. And I mean, my pricing form is on here. If we're going to say we want to tailor it to a specific customer so we don't have to, do this over and over again and save it as a template. So uh, there's our pricing form. Come on up, save it as a template. maintenance. Now let's start up a new estimate. I'm gonna take this off and let's grab one. It was under maintenance, template pricing form. And oh, I guess that's probably what you're referring to. That's interesting. Yeah, that's actually really interesting. Good call out, Tyler. So yeah, or it appears the template only allows single line items to be selected. So yeah, it doesn't look like that you can set up the pricing form as a template at this time. So that is a good call out. I thought I saw that used to work properly. Maybe it got changed. So we will bring this feedback because I think that is something that should be addressed. Because technically we're putting the pricing form together and it's coming out like this. So this is a good call out, Tyler. Uh, Next question, is there a way to implement the new pricing forms into existing service categories for online booking? Um, so, Justin, typically, as I was kind of showing, the pricing forms are kind of separate away from the different services. The pricing forms are even like kind of technically in a like their own spot within the price book. So, when you want to add them for online booking, just kind of go through the steps that I showed earlier of just turning on the switch that says that it's available for online booking. And then, as I showed what the customer is going to see, it is separated away from the services. So pricing forms just don't go together with the services within the price book or within online booking. Um, but that's it for the prepared questions. I did see one or two come through, so let's take a look here. Can you add pictures to pricing forms so customers know what they are picking? At this time, the answer is no, just that one picture that is like kind of the picture of whatever they're going to see online booking or in your price book. I'm sure there's going to be improvements made, but you also did see is that if they do go through online booking or if you do go through online booking, you can still upload pictures to that particular work order for that particular project and also when you are doing the pricing form on a job or an estimate, you can still take pictures out on the job and apply them. But I see where you're getting at, Brent, like kind of showing what that particular service is going to look like. The answer at this time is currently no. Susan, after job completed, does the price form turn into an invoice to pay online? Yes, it does. It's really no different than we would. It's really no different than we would how we would do it if we were doing single line items. Once you hit that invoice button, it's going to go ahead and show the customer, the breakdown of the pricing form, and they would still be able to make payment, and your technicians can take payment in the field just like they would on a regular job. Cool. Any other questions from Facebook or anywhere else, Chris?
I don't see any other questions from Facebook, but I do have a Facebook link I'm going to drop actually. See a couple people asking in here, any ideas for HVAC? Would online booking using a pricing form be good for selling HVAC maintenance plans? There's a post about this from October that I just dropped the link to with some couple of examples from a couple of our pros. Not quite HVAC, but this guy, Paul Hanna, who's in our Facebook group, shared his booking website. He does air duct and dryer vent cleaning. He does have a service plan on there. He does have a couple of residential services on there. Might be a great idea to get some inspiration. Also, this post is old. This is about a little over 6 months old, 8 months old. So recommend maybe making your own post in the group, get some ideas. People are usually open to sharing their online booking links, and you can check those out. Otherwise, I don't see any other questions. So, pros. Want to remind you every Friday we have office hours. If you've been around for a long time, highly recommend you attend that. It's every Friday at 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, open networking. I'll be there. Lauren's there. Matthew Smith, who's on our technical support teams. We can help answer some questions, and then other pros for you guys to talk to. And if you're brand new to Housecall Pro, if you're onboarding right now, maybe you're in your first 30 days, maybe you've been on for 6 months, but you haven't really gotten fully involved. These power hours are great, but I also want to invite you. We have a monthly new event that we're doing. This is a monthly um, welcome to the pro community onboarding event. It's 30 minutes tomorrow, right before our office hours. We have a super pro coming and speaking. She's going to talk a little bit about her experience. And we'll go over any resources. So if you're still looking for more help, right? Maybe you want to get plugged in, you want to get involved with other webinars, you want to learn about business coaching. We're going over all of that tomorrow morning. So if you're interested in that, send me an email. You can reply to the email on this registration and I'll get it. Yeah, Tony, I'll get that to you. There was an AI event. I can follow up with you as well if you want the recording to that. I believe that happened yesterday. So we should have the recording available. If you registered, the recording should have been sent to you. If not, let me know and I will get that to you. Yeah, Tony, I'll follow up with you. Can you leave me your email? Be great. Give you a minute to do that. And then lastly, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be doing a pipeline to profit week. And so for this power hour on Thursday, we're going to talk about sales proposal tool, service plans, and pipeline, kind of all in one, how you can use all three tools together. So we've done separate sessions on each of those, but we're going to kind of do a combo session and give you an idea how those all can work together. That'll be in 2 weeks. All right, cool. I got that, Tony. Thanks so much. Otherwise, y'all, we'll see you next week. We'll see you tomorrow. Phil, thanks again. And everybody take care.
Always take care.
Bye.